Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about The Martian, and this movie is directed by Ridley Scott and stars Matt Damon, Jessica Chastain, Kate Mara, and Michael Pena, and a whole bunch of others. And I've seen this movie a couple of times before, and I really loved it back then, and I actually saw this movie in theaters. Rewatching it, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I do think... First off, I really want to say that this movie looks beautiful. There's some really great shots in this movie. You really do feel as though you're on Mars at many points in the film. And there's some really great wide shots that look awesome. And it's a very nice movie to look at. And the performances are really good. Matt Damon is really great in this movie. And his character, he goes through a lot, and it's basically just him trying to survive on Mars, and he portrays that very well. And there are points where his character is also kind of funny, and he makes jokes, and they always land for me. And I thought the movie was pretty funny at points, and the movie has a good understanding when to use comedy and when not to use comedy, and because of that, it really makes it easy to get into the film, and no tone. It feels like it's clashing with one another. And I do like the characters a lot, and I find them to be very entertaining. Even though you don't know a whole lot about them, you can still understand what it gives the movie urgency. And it's one guy trapped on Mars, and he's basically best case scenario for him in his mind is that he's going to be stuck up there for 3 years, and nothing can go wrong. If something goes wrong, he's dead. And he needs food, and he needs air and water, and those are just the basics of what he needs. And also, in his spare time, he also tries to find ways to make contact with Earth. And the movie constantly cuts back between Mars, Matt Damon on Mars, and going back to Earth. One issue that I did have was when characters are reading messages or anything, they read out loud for some reason, and I was just thinking to myself, why are you reading out loud? I just thought that was kind of weird to do that. And another choice that I had with the movie, since I'm just getting into my negatives, I felt as though some of the tragedy, if that makes sense, without spoiling anything at the same time, was a little forced, because Jeff Daniels' character, he was just basically looking at things logically, and I like his character a lot. And I like his perspective, and just looking at the cold hard truth. And he's just one of those characters who just looks at everything with logic. And what I was going to say was that there are some points in the film where he does say something that could happen, if all goes well, and next scene, something goes wrong. And I was like, really? I don't have any complaints with how it was handled. I just wish that one line was not in the movie, because had that not been in the film, I feel as though that incident would have been more impactful. You're kind of spoiling what could happen, because you put your guard up, and you're kind of just anticipating something to go wrong, and then something does, and it's And one last issue that I had with the movie is that I felt some of the side characters were underdeveloped, Matt Damon's crew members that he was with. I felt as though I was missing something from that whole crew. I wished that some things were developed a bit better, especially when one thing happens in the movie. I was like, that kind of just felt thrown in. But aside from that, I do think the movie works really well. The special effects are great. Everything looks real. And I like where the story goes, although I do think that the first half is better than the second half, because in the second half, I do feel as though the movie got a little soundtrack heavy, just a little bit, or maybe I just didn't notice it as much in the first half. But in the first half, it worked for me much better. But in the second half, I was like, okay, that's enough. How many more songs do we really need? It was just a little distracting, and I also kind of started to feel the runtime a little bit. But aside from that, I don't really have any other complaints with it. I think the third act works really well, and it's a movie that has a story that works. The characters work, the performances are really great, and it looks nice. I like the music. Even if it is kind of familiar, it still works in the film. And overall, I just feel as though it is a movie worth watching. So check this movie out whenever you get the chance, and I'm going to give The Martian a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of The Martian, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Extraction. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.